Well, we certainly asked for it, as the poster implies. And now it's here. I'm talking about Jeepers Creepers 3, right here on Movie Minutes. Alright, I'm just throwing this out there. I like Jeepers Creepers 3. I've seen a lot of reviews on YouTube. A lot of people didn't like it. I read a lot of Twitter reactions, and I understand why they didn't like it. It's not a good movie. It's definitely not. And in terms of the budget for the first film was $10 million. Second budget for the second film, that was $17 million. And this one, I think it's, what I'm reading online is it was like $1 million or something like that. And it shows the production value in Jeepers Creepers 3 is not good. Especially when most of it takes place in broad daylight, when the creep flies up into the air, spreads his wings, as he does occasionally, and his wings spread, you see the sunlight, and you can see the 3D, well, you can see the green screen rendering. That's a little unfortunate. It took me out of the movie, being a film production major myself. That's a little unfortunate, but that's probably why he spends spends a lot of time, or most of his time, walking on this, in this third film, and that's not something that the creep is known to do. Walk makes him less scary. The first Jeepers Creepers, by the way, is one of my favorite creature features slash horror slash slasher movies, and the creeper is one of my most underrated movie monsters of all time. So in this one, when he's just walking around, it kind of humanizes him. He's not as scary. And then another unfortunate thing about this film is that the creep, he is a comic relief. He is the source of comic relief in this film, and that's a little unfortunate because, again, the first couple films, he's always in the shadows. You don't see him until it's too late. He swoops down, he grabs you, or he's eating you, as his license plate implies. But when you're making him the guy, the funny guy, it's not as scary. So that was a bit unfortunate, especially since I like him as a scary monster. But again, in the first couple of films, he did have a lot of funny parts, from the whistling, which he does, of course, in this one. You don't, however, hear the song Jeepers Creepers in this one. That's again just a sign of just how low the production budget is in this third installment. They can't even afford the rights to the Jeepers Creepers song, which is laughable. So in this one, he's walking around and gets himself into physical slapstick situations. The actor from the original who plays the creep is back as the creep, so a lot of the physicality, the way he walks, is still the same. Now this film takes place between number 2 and number 1, and the creep does kill a bunch of people. He doesn't really do anything with them. They don't really spend a whole lot of time into, they say, of course, every 23 years he comes back for 23 days to feed. Don't spend a lot of time on that in this one. He's just killing people, tossing them in the back of his truck. This truck, by the way, they spend a lot of time. The first, 15 minutes of the film is spent on the truck. It's like a living thing. And the thing I wanted going into this movie is to see how they expanded the mythology of the creep. And that's really all I was looking forward to, because I know these films aren't great, they're really low production, but they spend a lot of time on the truck, and the truck is kind of this living thing now. It has Batmobile contraptions all over, only the creep can get in and out without dying or getting slashed, which is kind of cool, kind of a neat aspect. The acting is pretty good, I think, for the budget. The main cop, he kind of just says a lot of lines, like, they are very dire, and this is going to be like, you haven't seen this thing. I've seen this thing. I've stared into its eyes. I know what we're dealing with. He's the guy from Jaws, essentially. And, but the film does start out with a very cool slow motion kind of lights, and you don't really see what the rotating lights. You don't really see what it is. The camera pulls back, and it's one of the bone boomerangs that he has. And you're like, oh yeah, somebody's in trouble. He misses somebody. The kid he's chasing keeps running. You see the creeper's hand come up into the frame, grab the bone boomerang, pull it out of the tree, and then just keep booking it after the kid. Stuff like that is why I watch these movies. The creep is kind of a badass. I just love watching him kill people. He kills a bunch of people. The ending is very disappointing. Of course, it leads into the second one, so I guess it gets away a little bit with that. And it's not as gory, it's not as bloody. Again, they don't have a lot of money, so you don't get a lot of gore, you don't get a lot of blood in this one. You don't get any of the weird grotesqueness of like the creep holding somebody's head and pulling out his tongue and using it to regenerate. It doesn't have any of the horror that the first one has when Jake Long discovers the tunnel by the church and it's full of dead bodies. That is horrific. That is terrifying. That is horror. This one's more of a comedy. Thankfully, it does have a sense of humor about itself. It does laugh along with you, thankfully. I'm not going to grade this thing because it's not a serious piece of filmmaking. It's kind of just a catch it on sci-fi, which is how I came to love the first one, and I watched the second one too, is just late night on Sci-Fi in October. It is October. I've started my 31 days of horror already. As you can see, the leaves are falling. It's getting chilly outside. I'm wearing long sleeves. I'm excited. Anyway, guys, I think I've spent a lot of time on this movie. It doesn't really deserve this much attention. But the important thing is, what did you guys think? I know a lot of people didn't like it. If you didn't, hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know why. Although I could probably guess. And if you did like it, let me know why. I'd like to see more positive things in the world. And again, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next episode of Movie Minutes. Take care.